In a quiet town, there lived a little girl named Asha. She was 7 years old, full of laughter, and loved to spend her days exploring small gardens near her home. But more than anything else, she loved her dog, a fluffy brown one named Milo. From the day Milo came into her life, he became her best friend, her secret keeper, and her shadow. Asha and Milo did everything together. In the mornings, Asha would rush out of bed and run straight to Milo, hugging him tightly before even brushing her teeth. Milo's tail wagged so fast it almost looked like a fan. When Asha left for school, Milo sat by the gate, waiting patiently until she returned. The neighbors often said, "This dog loves her more than life itself." And they were right. Every evening, Asha and Milo had their little routine. She would sit on the swing in the garden, and Milo would sit under it, watching her with soft eyes. Sometimes she would tell him stories she had learned at school, pretending Milo understood every word. In truth, Milo may not have understood her language, but he understood her heart. The way he rested his head on her lap showed that he felt every emotion she poured out. One rainy afternoon, something unusual happened. Asha and Milo were in the garden when dark clouds gathered quickly in the sky. The rain started falling heavily, and a loud thunderclap shook the ground. Asha was frightened, but Milo pressed himself against her side as if promising to protect her. She hugged him tightly, burying her face in his soft fur. At that moment, her mother saw them through the window and whispered to herself, "These two cannot be separated. Their bond is something rare." As days passed, their closeness only grew stronger. They were more like siblings than a girl and a pet. When Asha was sick with fever, Milo refused to eat until she felt better. When Milo once got hurt by stepping on a thorn, Asha cried until her father removed it and wrapped Milo's paw with a small cloth. Their love was simple, pure, and true. But in life, sometimes unexpected events test even the strongest bonds. One summer morning, the town faced a sudden problem. A construction company had started digging near Asha's street. The loud machines frightened Milo, and the workers complained that a dog was always running around the area. They suggested that Milo should be kept away for some days. Asha, however, could not imagine being without him. She begged her parents, "Please, don't send Milo anywhere. He won't disturb anyone. He's my only friend." Her parents tried to calm her. They explained that it was only for a short while, just until the heavy work was over. But Asha felt her chest tighten with fear. She hugged Milo and cried softly into his fur. Milo seemed to understand something was wrong. He licked her face as if saying, "Don't worry, I am here." The day came when workers arrived again, and her father decided to take Milo to a relative's house for safety. When Asha heard this, she clung to Milo with all her strength. She would not let go. Tears streamed down her cheeks, and she whispered, "Please don't take him away." Milo pressed closer, as if he too did not want to leave. The sight of the little girl holding on to her dog touched everyone around. Even the workers stood silently, moved by the love they saw. Her father tried to separate them gently, but Asha's arms stayed locked around her dog. She and Milo stayed like that, hugging each other tightly. Neighbors gathered, whispering that they had never seen such a strong bond between a child and her dog. Some even wiped their eyes because the moment was so emotional. Then something strange happened. As her father slowly lifted Milo away, a sudden hush fell over the people watching. Milo let out a soft sound, not like a bark but almost like a cry. At the same time, Asha fainted in her father's arms from exhaustion. The crowd gasped, not knowing what to do. And that was the moment when everyone realized that their bond was not ordinary at all. Something more was hidden within it, something that would soon shock them all. When Asha fainted, her mother rushed forward, lifting the little girl into her arms. The crowd that had gathered outside grew restless. Some people whispered in worry, Others simply stood frozen, their eyes fixed on Asha and Milo. The dog's soft cries continued as if he knew something had happened to his beloved friend. Her father placed Milo down, thinking the dog would calm once he was free. But instead, Milo jumped toward Asha, pressing his body against her as she lay weak in her mother's lap. The moment his fur brushed her hand, Asha's eyelids fluttered. Slowly, her breathing steadied. It was as if Milo's presence gave her strength. Everyone who saw it was shocked. One of the workers said quietly, "This is not a normal bond. This dog is connected to the child's heart." Another woman from the neighborhood nodded, adding, "They are like one soul in two bodies." Asha's mother carried her inside the house, while Milo followed closely, refusing to leave her side. The doctor was called, and after examining Asha, he said, "She is fine." It seems the fainting came from stress and strong emotions. But I must say, it is remarkable how quickly she recovered when her dog touched her. I have never seen something like this before. That night, Asha slept peacefully with Milo curled beside her bed. From time to time, she reached out in her sleep to touch him, and every time she did, a small smile appeared on her face. Her parents stood by the door, watching quietly. Her father sighed and said, "How can we ever separate them now? It feels impossible." Her mother agreed, whispering, "Maybe it is wrong to even try. Look at them. They belong together." The next morning, Asha woke up cheerful again. She hugged Milo tightly and said, "I dreamed we were flying, and you were beside me. You never left me, not even once." Milo wagged his tail happily, as though he understood every word. But life in the town did not stop. The construction work near their street grew louder day by day. The workers kept insisting that the dog had to be taken away for safety. They argued that if Milo stayed near the machines, accidents could happen. Asha overheard one of these conversations, and her heart sank. She held Milo closer and said firmly, "Nobody can take you away from me. We will always be together." One afternoon, when her parents were busy discussing the problem, Asha decided to show everyone that Milo was more than just a dog. She wanted them to see what she felt in her heart. So she went outside with Milo and stood in front of the workers. With confidence unusual for her age, she said, "Milo is not trouble. He is my family. If you try to keep him away, something bad will happen to me. You saw it yesterday." The workers looked at one another, unsure how to respond. Finally, one of the older men spoke gently. "Little one, we do not wish to harm your dog. But machines are dangerous, and sometimes accidents happen. We only want to protect you both." Asha shook her head, her eyes full of tears. "The only danger is if you separate us." Then she knelt and hugged Milo again. To everyone's surprise, Milo leaned his head on her shoulder and stayed perfectly still, almost like a child returning the embrace. It was such a human-like action that even the workers gasped. News of this spread quickly across the neighborhood. Soon people from nearby streets came to see the little girl and her dog. They stood at the gate, whispering about the mystery of their closeness. Some believed it was a miracle, while others thought there must be some hidden reason behind their bond. By evening, Asha's house was surrounded by curious visitors. Some brought gifts for the dog, others simply wanted to see the pair together. Asha felt proud, because now the whole town understood that Milo was special. But what touched her most was that Milo never seemed interested in the attention of the crowd. He looked only at her, his tail wagging softly whenever she moved. Her father, seeing the attention, grew thoughtful. He told her mother, "This may become bigger than we think. People will not stop coming. Perhaps there is something truly extraordinary about their bond." Asha, unaware of her father's words, sat on the swing with Milo at her feet. She leaned down, whispered into his ear, "No matter what happens, you will always be with me. right? Milo barked once, short and gentle, as if giving his promise. What neither Aisha nor anyone else knew was that this promise would soon be tested in a way no one expected. The moment of separation would come again, and when it did, something even more shocking would happen, something that would leave the entire town speechless. Days turned into weeks, and the story of Asha and Milo spread far beyond their small street. People came from nearby villages just to catch a glimpse of the little girl and her loyal dog. Some said their bond was magical, while others believed it was simply the pure love between a child and her pet. But while the town admired the pair, the construction company grew impatient. Their work had slowed down because of the crowds gathering near the site. The constant movement of people made it difficult for the workers to continue. Finally, the manager sent a strict message to Asha's parents. The dog must be taken away. Until then, our work will remain blocked. Asha's father sat her down one evening. His voice was soft but serious. My dear, you know we love Milo too, but we cannot stop the whole town's work. The workers are angry. If we do not cooperate, there may be more trouble. We must send Milo to your uncle's house for a few days. The words pierced Asha's heart. She shook her head strongly. No, Baba, I will not let him go. You saw what happened last time. If Milo is taken from me, I will fall sick again. Her mother touched her shoulder gently. We understand, my child, but this is only for a short time. Just a few days. You will visit Milo every evening. It will be fine. But Aisha's tears began to flow. She hugged Milo tightly, pressing her face into his soft fur. He is not just a dog. He is part of me. Why does no one understand? She whispered. Milo, sensing her sadness, rested his head on her lap and looked up with calm eyes. It was as though he was telling her that everything would be all right. Yet his eyes held a strange depth, as if he too knew what was coming. The next morning, her father made arrangements to take Milo away. A small crowd had gathered outside again, curious about what would happen. They whispered among themselves, waiting to see whether the girl would allow her dog to leave. When her father reached for Milo's leash, Asha rushed forward, wrapping her arms around her dog once more. No, please don't, she cried, her voice trembling. The neighbors watched silently, moved by the sight of the little girl clinging to her friend. Some of them muttered, "This feels wrong. They should not be separated." Her father tried to be gentle, but Asha's grip was strong. Milo remained perfectly still in her embrace, his tail low, his eyes never leaving her face. It was almost as though he was waiting for her to decide. Finally, her father sighed deeply and said, "My dear, we have no choice. We cannot fight the whole town. Trust me, it is only for a short while." Slowly he lifted Asha away, and another family member carried Milo toward the gate. The moment Asha and Milo were pulled apart, something strange happened. Milo let out a cry so unusual that everyone froze. It was not a bark, not a whine, but something that sounded almost human. At the same time, Asha's body trembled, and she fell weak in her mother's arms once again. Her lips moved softly as she whispered, "Milo, don't leave me." The crowd gasped in shock. Some covered their mouths, others stepped back in fear and wonder. It seemed as though Asha's strength was directly connected to Milo's presence. Without him, she looked pale and fragile. But when Milo struggled against the leash and managed to touch her hand with his paw, her eyes opened and she breathed normally again. The scene left everyone speechless. An old woman in the crowd finally said, "This is not ordinary love. Their souls are tied together. To break this bond is to break the child's spirit." Her father, shaken by what he had seen, asked the man holding Milo to release him. The moment Milo was free, he ran straight back to Asha, pressing his body against her. She hugged him tightly, and her color returned instantly, as if his closeness gave her life. The workers, who had come to watch as well, looked at each other nervously. One of them said, "If we separate them, something terrible may happen. Maybe it is not worth the risk." That evening, the whole town gathered to discuss the matter. Some argued that the construction must continue. Others insisted that Asha and Milo should never be separated again. But everyone agreed on one thing. What they had witnessed was beyond explanation. As the sun set, Asha sat quietly on the swing with Milo resting at her feet. She stroked his fur slowly, whispering, "See, they tried to take you away, but I told you, we are one. Nothing can separate us." Milo wagged his tail softly, looking up at her with eyes full of love. Yet deep in her father's heart, a worry remained. He knew the matter was far from over. The company would not simply give up. And when the next attempt came, he feared something even more mysterious and perhaps even more shocking would happen. The evening after the incident, the little town buzzed with conversations. Everyone had seen or heard about what happened when Asha and Milo were separated. It was no longer just a story about a girl and her dog. People now spoke of it as something unusual, something almost magical. At the marketplace, shopkeepers whispered about the strange connection. "Did you hear? The moment they took Milo away, the girl collapsed," one man said, shaking his head. Another woman added, "And the dog cried like a human. I was there. It gave me chills." The news traveled quickly. By the next morning, more visitors came to Asha's street. Some brought flowers for the girl, some carried treats for Milo, and others simply wanted to see them together. Asha felt shy at first, but she never refused when people asked to watch her and Milo sit side by side. She only smiled softly and held her dog close. Milo, however, never seemed distracted by the attention. While people stared and whispered, his eyes remained fixed on Asha. He wagged his tail only when she touched him, as if the rest of the world did not matter. To him, only she existed. Inside the house, Asha's parents grew worried. Her father said, "This is getting out of hand. Too many people are coming. The company will be even more unhappy now." Her mother nodded, her voice low. "But what choice do we have? After what happened yesterday, I cannot imagine forcing them apart again." That afternoon, a town meeting was called. The manager of the construction company stood in front of the people, his voice firm. "We respect the girl and her pet, but this is delaying our work. The project is important. Roads must be built. We cannot let a dog stop progress." The crowd murmured. Many agreed that the town needed the new road, but others raised their hands in protest. One old woman spoke loudly. "This is not just about a dog. Can you not see? The child's health depends on him. If you take him away, she suffers. Do we want that on our conscience?" Another man added, "We all saw it. Her life and the dog's life are tied together. If we separate them, something worse may happen." The manager frowned. He had not expected so much resistance. "So what do you suggest?" he asked sharply. "Shall we stop all work for the sake of one dog?" There was silence for a moment. Then Asha's father stood up. His voice was calm but steady. "We are not asking you to stop your work. We only ask that you let Milo stay with Asha. We will keep him away from the machines. But do not take him far. It is too dangerous for her." The people nodded in agreement. The manager looked around, realizing he was outnumbered. With a heavy sigh, he said, "Very well. But if any trouble happens, we cannot be blamed." Asha, who had been standing quietly beside her mother, smiled with relief. She bent down and hugged Milo tightly, whispering, "See, they understand now. You will not leave me." But even though the meeting ended peacefully, a sense of mystery lingered. Why was the bond between Asha and Milo so strong? How could a simple separation cause her to faint? People could not stop wondering. Over the next few days, life returned to normal, but the curiosity did not fade. Neighbors visited often, bringing gifts and asking questions. Some believed Milo was no ordinary dog. "Perhaps he carries a spirit," someone whispered. Another replied, "Or maybe the child and the dog share one heartbeat." Asha did not care about these whispers. For her, Milo was just Milo, her best friend, her protector, her other half. She spent her evenings on the swing again, telling him stories, while he lay at her feet listening quietly. Yet her father remained uneasy. He noticed how Aisha never let Milo out of her sight, not even for a moment. At night, she kept her hand on his fur while she slept. If Milo shifted away, even slightly, she would stir and reach for him. It was as if her very breath depended on his nearness. One evening, when the sun painted the sky orange, her father spoke softly to her mother. "What if one day something happens to Milo? What will become of our daughter then?" His wife looked down, her face troubled. "Do not speak of such things. Perhaps this bond is a blessing. Perhaps it protects her." Neither of them knew that soon this bond would be tested again, not by workers or managers, but by fate itself. And when that moment arrived, what was hidden inside the mystery of their closeness would finally begin to reveal itself. For some time, Asha and Milo lived peacefully again. The workers kept their distance, and the townspeople respected the bond between the little girl and her dog. Days went by with laughter and play. Asha felt safe as long as Milo was near her, and Milo seemed happiest when Asha's hand rested on his fur. But life has a way of testing what people hold most dear. One night, when the moon was hidden behind thick clouds, the sky grew restless. A strong wind shook the trees, and thunder rumbled across the town. The storm came suddenly, with heavy rain splashing against the rooftops and streets. Asha's parents hurried to close all the windows. "Stay inside, my dear," her mother said as she pulled Asha away from the open door. Milo stayed close to her feet, his ears alert, his eyes glowing in the flashes of lightning. At first, Asha was calm because Milo was beside her. But when a loud crash echoed from the far end of the street, she jumped. A tall tree had fallen across the road, and the people outside shouted for help. Her father grabbed his umbrella and rushed out to see what had happened. Asha ran to the window, pressing her face against the glass. She whispered, "Baba, be careful." Milo barked softly, as if sharing her worry. She held his neck tightly, her heart beating fast. Then came another sound, louder than before. A piece of the roof from a nearby shed broke loose and crashed onto the street. The noise frightened Milo, and in that moment, the door blew open from the strong wind. Before anyone could close it, Milo darted outside. "Milo!" Asha cried out, running after him. Her mother tried to stop her, but the girl slipped past and rushed into the storm. The rain soaked her clothes, but she did not care. She could see Milo near the fallen tree, barking loudly at the sparks from a broken electric pole. "Milo, come back," she called, her voice trembling. The dog turned, hearing her, and began to run toward her. But just then, another flash of lightning lit the sky, and the sound of thunder shook the ground. Asha stumbled and fell onto the wet earth. Milo reached her instantly, pressing against her side as though shielding her from the storm. The two of them stayed like that, holding on to each other while the wind howled around them. From the doorway, her mother cried, "Asha, come back inside." But Aisha could not move. She wrapped her arms around Milo and whispered, "Don't leave me. Please don't leave me." Neighbors rushed to help. Two men lifted Asha gently while another picked up Milo. They carried both into the house together. Once inside, Asha was placed on her bed, shivering from the cold rain. Milo sat beside her, his fur dripping wet. He refused to move even when towels were brought to dry him. Her father returned, worried and tired. When he saw Asha hugging Milo tightly, his eyes filled with emotion. He realized once again that no storm, no fear, and no danger could separate the two. Their connection was stronger than anything outside. That night, as the storm raged on, Asha fell asleep with Milo curled against her. Every time the thunder roared, she tightened her grip on his fur. Her breathing only calmed when she felt his warmth beside her dot in the silence of the midnight hours. Her parents sat together and spoke softly. Her father said, "Do you see now? Even the storm could not part them." It is as if nature itself tests their bond, but they remain unbroken. Her mother nodded, whispering, "It is beyond understanding. Perhaps this bond is not of this world." By morning, the storm had passed. The streets were wet, the air smelled of rain, and broken branches lay scattered. But inside the little house, Asha and Milo were safe. She opened her eyes slowly and saw Milo still watching her. Smiling, she said, "See, I told you we would be together always." Milo wagged his tail and rested his head on her hand. The town soon learned of what happened during the storm. People said, even nature cannot pull them apart. Others began to believe that the bond was not only special, but also mysterious. As though the two were connected by something unseen. No one yet knew that this was only the beginning. Greater tests awaited them, and when those moments came, the truth behind their bond would begin to unfold in ways that would leave everyone amazed. After the storm, life slowly returned to normal. Asha and Milo continued their daily routine. She would wake in the morning, hug Milo tightly, and talk to him about her dreams. Milo seemed to understand everything she said, always listening quietly, always close by. One sunny afternoon, Asha decided to explore the small garden behind her house. Milo followed, his nose sniffing the fresh grass, his tail wagging happily. She loved this garden. It felt like their private world, away from the crowd and noise of the town. As they walked, Asha noticed something unusual near the corner of the garden. A small patch of ground looked different. It shimmered slightly under the sun, almost like it was glowing. Curious, she ran to it with Milo bounding at her side. She knelt down and touched the earth. Milo sniffed it carefully, then pawed at the spot gently. Suddenly, a soft vibration ran through the ground. Both Asha and Milo froze. The shimmer grew a little brighter, and a gentle warmth spread to their hands and paws. Asha gasped softly, "Milo, do you feel that?" She whispered. Milo tilted his head, looking at her with wide eyes, as if he understood the question. Her curiosity grew. She dug a little with her hands, and to her surprise, she uncovered a small, smooth stone. It was round and glowed faintly, almost like it had a heartbeat of its own. Asha picked it up and held it close to her chest. The warmth from the stone seemed to travel into her body, and she felt a strange but comforting energy. Milo pressed his head against her lap, as if sharing the feeling. Asha's father, hearing her voice, came into the garden. "What have you found, my dear?" he asked. She showed him the glowing stone. He looked closely, then rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "I have never seen anything like this. Perhaps it is a gift of some kind." Asha looked at Milo. "Milo feels it too. He's happy, Baba. He understands it," she said softly. Milo barked once, softly, and wagged his tail. It was as if he confirmed her words. Over the next few days, Asha noticed something extraordinary. Whenever she held the stone near her chest, Milo's eyes glowed softly in the dark. When she touched the stone, she felt an energy that made her stronger, braver, and calmer. Even when the storm came again one night, she wasn't afraid because the stone seemed to connect her and Milo in a way that no one could separate. Her parents noticed the changes too. "She seems different," her mother said one morning. "Stronger, calmer. And Milo is more alert than ever." Her father nodded. It is as if something in that garden chose them. Perhaps it is the reason their bond is so strong. The neighbors, unaware of the stone, still marveled at the closeness of the two friends. People came to the garden sometimes, watching as Asha and Milo played together, completely in tune with each other. Some even whispered that the bond was magical, but no one could understand the true reason behind it. Asha kept the stone in a small pouch around her neck. She never let it out of her sight. Milo seemed to guard it too, sitting beside her whenever she rested and nuzzling it with his nose. It became their little secret, a symbol of the love and connection that bound them together. One afternoon, as Asha lay in the grass reading a story to Milo, she felt the stone grow warmer than ever before. Milo's ears perked up, and he barked softly. Asha looked up at the sky and noticed the clouds moving faster than usual, though the sun was still shining. Something was changing, and both she and Milo sensed it. Little did they know, the glowing stone was more than just a symbol of their bond. It was a key to something extraordinary, something that would reveal the full power of their connection. And soon, the moment would come when everyone in the town would witness the true miracle of Asha and Milo. The next morning, Asha woke with a sense of excitement she could not explain. The glowing stone around her neck pulsed softly, as if it had something urgent to show her. Milo lay beside her, alert and ready. The little girl felt that today would be different. Something extraordinary was about to happen. She ran to the garden with Milo following closely. The air felt warmer than usual, and a gentle breeze stirred the leaves. Asha knelt by the same corner where she had found the stone. The shimmer on the ground was brighter now, almost like sunlight trapped in the earth. She touched it carefully, and Milo pressed his paw against her hand. In that moment, a soft glow surrounded both of them. Her parents, noticing the strange light from the window, came running outside. "Asha, what is happening?" her mother asked, worry mixed with curiosity. Asha looked up at them, her eyes wide but calm. "I don't know exactly, Mama, but Milo and we feel something. Something big." Suddenly, a strong but gentle wind swept through the garden. The glowing stone on Asha's neck grew brighter, filling the space around them with a soft, golden light. Milo barked once, softly, then nuzzled Asha's shoulder. At that moment, the unthinkable happened. The bond between them, which had always been strong, became visible to everyone. A faint golden outline formed around Asha, and another around Milo. The outlines pulsed in perfect harmony, expanding and contracting together. Anyone standing nearby could see it, and gasps filled the garden. Neighbors pressed against the fence, eyes wide with wonder. "Look!" someone shouted. "The child and the dog. They are glowing." The outlines grew brighter, and a warmth spread across the garden. Anyone who stepped closer felt calm and happy, as if all their fears had vanished. Asha's father whispered, "I have never seen anything like this." It is as if their love, their bond, has become a living light. Asha looked at Milo, and their eyes met. In that moment, words were not needed. The dog moved closer, pressing his body against her, and the outlines merged into one bright circle of golden light. Inside it, Asha and Milo were connected completely, heart to heart, soul to soul. Then, something even more shocking happened. Asha lifted her hands, and the stone began to float in front of her. It glowed brighter than the sun, and a gentle voice filled the air. No one could understand the words exactly, but the meaning was clear. True love and loyalty create power that cannot be broken. The golden light slowly spread beyond the garden, reaching the streets. People watched in awe. Birds circled above, and even the trees seemed to lean closer to see what was happening. It was as if the town itself recognized the miracle unfolding before them. Asha felt no fear. She held Milo tightly, feeling the warmth and love of their bond stronger than ever. Milo rested his head on her shoulder, his eyes calm and bright. The moment seemed endless, yet everyone knew that something had changed forever. Finally, the light softened. The golden outlines faded, leaving only Asha and Milo, sitting quietly in the garden. But something extraordinary remained. Anyone who had seen it could feel it. The bond between the girl and her dog was now something undeniable, something the whole town would never forget. Neighbors whispered among themselves, unable to explain what they had witnessed. Some said it was magic, some said it was a miracle. But Asha's father knew the truth. "It is not magic," he said softly. "It is love. Pure, unbreakable love." Asha hugged Milo tightly, smiling. "See, Milo? Nothing can ever separate us." Milo wagged his tail happily, as if agreeing completely. From that day on, everyone in the town understood that Asha and Milo shared something far beyond ordinary friendship. Their bond had been tested, but now it shone for all to see, and deep inside her heart, Asha knew that no matter what happened in the future, Milo would always be with her, always. After the golden light faded, the town was quiet, almost holding its breath. Everyone who had witnessed the event remained in the garden, staring at Asha and Milo. The little girl sat on the grass, Milo curled by her side, both of them calm and smiling. But inside, Asha felt something amazing, something she could not yet explain fully. Her father knelt beside her. "Asha, my child, that was incredible. Everyone saw it. Everyone knows how strong your bond is." Asha nodded, hugging Milo tightly. "I know, Baba, but it feels like something more is inside me now. Something that came from Milo and the stone together." Her mother smiled softly. "Maybe this was the reward for your loyalty to each other. You never gave up on him, and he never gave up on you. Love like yours has its own power." The neighbors and visitors whispered in wonder. People who had doubted the bond before now nodded in awe. "I have never seen anything like this," one woman said. "It is as if the dog and the girl share one heart." Even the workers who had once insisted Milo be taken away now approached quietly. They watched him and Asha with newfound respect. "We see now," said the manager softly. "Some things cannot be measured or explained. They are beyond us." Asha, feeling brave, held the glowing stone in her hand. Milo rested his head on her lap, his warm eyes looking up at her. She whispered, "Milo, we did it. We stayed together. And now everyone knows what we are." Milo barked softly, wagging his tail as if saying yes. Over the next few days, the story of Asha and Milo spread far beyond the town. People came to meet them, not just out of curiosity, but to witness the bond that had become a symbol of hope and love. Children brought their pets, inspired by the devotion between the girl and her dog. Adults smiled as they watched, learning that some connections are more powerful than words. Asha's life changed in quiet ways. She still played in the garden, told stories to Milo, and laughed freely. But she felt stronger now, not just because of the glowing stone, but because she had experienced the true power of trust, loyalty, and love. Milo, too, seemed calmer and happier. He stayed by her side always, but now there was a new understanding between them, a sense that they shared something eternal. One evening, as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Asha sat on the swing with Milo at her feet. She held the stone against her chest. "Milo," she said softly, "we will always be together, won't we?" Milo leaned against her, resting his head on her lap, and gave a small, happy bark. Asha smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her heart that her parents watched quietly from the porch. Her father said, "No one can ever separate them now. Their bond is more than love, it is life itself." Her mother nodded, tears in her eyes. They taught the town something important. That true love cannot be broken, no matter what happens. From that day on, Asha and Milo were inseparable. The glowing stone remained a symbol of their bond, though it no longer shone as brightly. Its magic had fulfilled its purpose, to reveal the strength of their connection to the world. Now, everyone could see that what they shared was real, lasting, and unshakable. Asha and Milo continued their adventures together. They explored the garden, ran through the streets, and shared laughter every day. People often stopped to watch, remembering the moment the golden light surrounded them. Children whispered about the miracle. Adults smiled in wonder, and the town felt a quiet joy, knowing that some bonds are stronger than anything else in the world. And in the heart of it all, Asha held Milo close, feeling the love that had carried them through every challenge. No storm, no fear, no separation could ever change what they shared. Their friendship, their devotion, and their love had become something extraordinary, a true miracle, shining in the hearts of everyone who had witnessed it. Asha whispered softly one last time, "Milo, nothing can ever come between us. Not now, not ever." Milo wagged his tail happily and nuzzled her cheek. And in that simple, perfect moment, it was clear to everyone the little girl and her dog were forever united, a living proof of love's true power. The town would never forget them. And Asha and Milo? They knew in their hearts that their bond was eternal.